Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Amit Dhakad AI. So today we will complete functions. Okay. So first, what is functions? So functions, like if you have logic that you are using number of times, and if you so you need to use only one times. Like if you write code one time and if you use multiple places. So block of codes that we give name or define that we call our functions. So like here you can see six copies of exact same logic. Okay, six place six place to break, and six places where a text rate changes need to be updated manually. So like if we have logic where it's getting updated six times, so we are calculating tax on the six places and we are using the logic six times. So if we make any mistake, so we have to change all the six places. So what it is saying, same thing, that textual changes need to be updated manually, and six changes for typo that cause the financial bug in production. So this is what Python looks like before, so you to really understand. So we are using that logic in sixth place. Now if we use functions, we have to write that code only one time. Like we create calculate function, okay, and inside that we need to write logic. So here you can see a function is named reusable block of code perform a specific type. Okay. So we have some task that we use to perform using the function. So first three words. What is named, reusable, and specific? That's the core concept. Think of like recipe. You write a recipe from chocolate cake. Okay. So you have to write only once. Every time you want to chocolate cake, you need to use that recipe. So it will you need to follow that. It's not like you have to go and invent every time. Okay. So you don't invent from the scratch. So function or recipe that ingredients are input. So the cake is return value. So whatever the input, it is saying ingredients are the inputs. So what is input? So when we are pass functions like elements, so we are having text calculation or we are having add um, two numbers. Okay. So we have to A and B. We need to give two inputs to that function, and what it will return? It will return sum. So anywhere in the if we want to add something, we just have to call this function. So it will return A plus B. So this is for a small example I am showing, but for large logic, it will be difficult to use a simple one. So why do function exist? Okay, why do function exist? Four reasons that matter every single day on the jobs: reusability, write once and call everywhere; readability, calculate readability. So like we have calculate text, so we are passing price and it will calculate. And maintainability, fix logic in one place, not 20. And testability, function is the perfect unit to test in isolation. First, what is reusability? Same thing that I was saying, we are writing one places and we can use the multiple places. That is called reusability. And we are using calculate text function. We write all the logic that calculate text and we are passing only the price. We can use this function in the 20 or 30 times. But if we are not using functions to the same logic, like you can say this function contains 100 lines of code. Okay, 100 lines of code. So that you need to write every places if you don't use function. So that's why. and it's easy to maintain. Like if we are having some logic and we by mistake we make some mistake in the logic, so we only have to change on the one place. It's easy to fix. And testability, so we can test that code, that function, like we calculate, we call in the this function, and we'll pass some values, some price, and we'll test it returning proper or not. So this is only easy to test also. So the same thing, the function as a machine, we have input, arguments, function, body, logic, and the output, return value. So I have this function, okay. So what is this? This is the definition, okay. Greet user, this is the name, these are the arguments, and this is the default value, and this is the return value, okay. So what this is what it is saying, return a personalized greeting message. Argument what is taking, the person's name and the greeting, optional greeting word. So default is hello, you can pass anything here, like so. Message equals to, what is that, f string. We already learned in the string section, we are passing greetings and name, so it will return the message. So this is the result. How many times we are calling? We are calling here with Alice name, here Bob and hey. We are passing the second argument. If we are not passing the second, it will you will see hello Alice. If we are passing, then hey Bob. And if we are passing name and greeting both, so it will keyword call. Okay, this we will see in the action. So what is that function? First you say the def, this is the keyword, and the greet user, this is the snack case we are using, but this is name. Parameters, name and greeting, and return type of the function, that is str, and in the body we are using return. You can see the return message, okay. So this document I will share with you, so you can use this, okay. So I will copy this one and I will paste here, okay. And if I run result, you can see it is printing hello Alice, result 2, hey Bob, and result 3, sorry, hey Eve. Okay, so here you are not giving what you are not passing, you are not passing the keyword that we are using. This is your keyword call. Here we are passing the keyword. So this is hello Alice, hey Bob, and this is keyword. Where you can see we directly passing name. Here we are directly passing name and greeting message. Here we are passing name equals to Eve and greeting equals to hi. So this is we are getting the output hello Alice, hey Bob, and hey Eve. So you understood this one, like what we are, what we call what, like this is the def, this is keyword, this is the function name, this is the parameter, and this is the return type, and this is we returning. So here you can see the detailed theory of the all these things. So def, the keyword that declares a function, short for define. In the Python, there's only one keyword for this, unlike the JavaScript freestyle. Okay. So the name follow Python snack case conversion. Lowercase but separately y underscore. This is not optional style. It's the PEP8 standard engine for Python community. Follow greet and exclusion, not greet user. Type and str after each parameter and before the colon. The Python doesn't enforce these at the runtime, but they are read by the checkers like mypy by your id. Okay, so every engineer who reads your code after you in production code wise stipends are not optional. So what is this? Which type it is talking? This one, this str. What is this name? After that we have str. This is the type. Here we are using a string. Here we are using string, and this is the default value. This is the return type. You can see after arrow. This is the return type. Next, it is saying doc string. So doc string, the purple code string immediately inside the function. This is the Python's built-in documentation system. So help great user in the REPL display this. So tools like Spring generate full documents from it, always writing doc string for public function. So what is the doc string here? The doc string, this is the string that we are having in three curly braces. This is called the doc string. So what it will indicate? It will indicate what function exactly it is doing. For public user, they can check so how the return a personalized greeting message, okay, and what argument it will take and what is the returns. Next, what we have, a function definition creates a function object and binds it to the name. It does not run any code, so the function call, the parenthesis is what executes. Its greet underscore user is the object, and greet user and that is call. Okay, so we already saw this while we are running this code. Okay, so like we run this one def, and here we are calling. So we execute this only, it will just simply create the block where it will store this function, but it will not call. Okay, so we need to use the name and we need to pass the here arguments. After that, this is called, that is calling the functions. Okay, next we have a square function here. So you can see def full function any complexity. So we have definition square. Here we are using name, parameter name, and this is the type, and return type also int. Both are int here. So what it will take? It will take n and it will return square of that int. So what we are doing? So here we are using functions. So what we create function here? Def keyword function name function name. Okay. After that, current parenthesis name like a type, and here return type. Okay, and colon. This is the general function. But here you can see this is the lambda function, anonymous single expression only. So what we are doing here, we are taking square lambda. We are using keyword. Here we have def keyword. Here we have lambda, and this is the argument it will take colon and n square 2 n power 2. We are calling square this function, and similarly we have to call the lambda function also. We just passing the parenthesis and passing the int value, so both will return 2. Same, we have lambda common uses as a sort key. So what is that? We are having users. This is called tuple. This is list. Okay, what we are doing, users dot sort. Okay, and key equals to what we are passing key. We are passing lambda function, so it will take u and e1 sort by age. Okay, so how it will run? So in Python, there are two types of function at the syntax level. So def functions and lambda expressions. So lambda creates a small anonymous function inline, useful for simple one-liner. We will cover lambda fully in chapter 6. Okay? If I copy this section, if I run, okay, so you can see Bob 25, Alice 30, Eve 35. How? So we are using here Alice 35. So how it will work? Okay. This is like normal function only. Only thing is that like it will only single line, not multiple line. Here we have multiple lines, so it will be we have to use this function, not this function. We have users, right? Users. First it will take Alice. So you already saw like when we use sort inside the users. This is list. So sort function. What it will do? It will sort. So what we are passing here key. So based on which one? So it will be lambda function. Okay. So it will take u. So what is that? User. So it will take Alice, right? Alice 30. Now you will have this value, right? U. What we are doing now? U index 1. This is 0th index. This is first index. It will return 30. Same next loop, it will go to u again. It will change value to Bob and E. Sorry, Bob 25. So the index 1, this value will get 25. So we will get 25, we will get 35. So this we get this list, right? And then the sort value, what it will do, it will sort this one 25, 30, 35. So, right? So based on the age, so it will sort the complete list. Okay. We have this one square 5, we call this one. You can see 25. If I give 50, it's 2500, right? Similarly, if I call this square lambda, you can see same thing. So the only difference is that like it will be single line expression. So parameters, next we have parameters. Here Python, where Python is generally unique. Most languages have 2 or 3 ways to pass arguments. Python has 6 distinct parameter kinds. So and knowing all 6 is what separates Python developers who write scripts from Python engineers. Okay. So parameters are named in the function definition. Parameters. So this is, remember, where we call parameters and where we are calling arguments, right? So parameters are names in the function definition when we define, like here we are defining, right? So this is parameters, name and age. Next, arguments are the actual values in the function call. Parameters are the breakpoint slot, arguments are the concrete data. You will fill those slots. So when I'm calling this one, so this is arguments. Okay. So we have definition, function name, parameters type. Here we have string, here we have int. Okay, and this is the return type. What it is returning? Return I am name and I am age, year old. And this is the f string. So if I'm passing Alice 30, okay. If I copy this one, so I am Alice and I am 30-year-old. Okay. Next, default parameters. Here, remember this one. Here we are not using the keyword. What keyword we are using? Like name, age. We are not using nothing. We just simply adding the arguments. Here we are passing name and age. Next we have dev connect function. Okay, what it will taking host string port, we are giving 3000 default. Okay, and protocol str, we are passing https, and this is the return type. So what it is doing, return protocol host and port. What it is returning, the url. So we are passing connect example.com. Okay, so what it will return, so example.com we are passing, right? So what value it will take, it will take host. Okay, why? Because the port we already having default value, and protocol also having default value. So any value we are passing, it will consider the first value. So it will be host. Okay. So the HTTPS, this is the protocol default, and host will be example.com colon port. It will be 3000, right? Next we are passing host and 8080. Port will be default value is this host. Next where argument will be for what? Protocol port, right? So by default is 3000. If we pass 8080, so it will return https example.com 8080, right? And for third, it will automatically take. We are not passing that. And here, instead of this one, we add here http. Okay, we are using http, not https. So default we are using http, and it will change to http example.com 8080. Okay. You can see example.com 8080, it is printing. If I run this one without any arguments, it will return the default one. And here only if I add comma http, right? If I run this one, it just simply print http example.com. So we are passing any default value for any parameter, then we don't have to pass the argument, right? Next we have star args, variable positional. Okay, so what it will do, we have definition, function name, and this here we are passing a star number, and this is the float type, and return type also float. So arguments collect extra positional args into tuple. Okay, so what is that means, we simply passing total 1 2 3, it will return 6. Okay, we are passing 10 20 30 40, it will return 100. What it is doing, it is taking a star, right, number, and type float. And here what is that number, right? So here you can see we are not passing 1, we are passing 2 and 3 elements. Here we are passing 4 elements. So I will show you in the notebook what exactly it will do. So I remove this one, this is our, like this we use, right, numbers float. If I run, what it will throw, what it will do, okay, what it is saying, total takes one positional argument, but 3 were given. How many we are passing? 3, 1 2 3. But here what we are using, 1. So this is used when we don't know the number of arguments we need to pass, like we don't have any fixed size, that can be any number of size, right? And if I use a start, and if I pass, so it will work because we are passing 3 and we are using the star of it. Next, you can see here I am passing 4, here I am passing 3, still it is working. So this is called argument type. Okay, so collects extra position argument in the tuple. So it will do take number, and it will print the sum and return that sum. Okay, it will calculate the sum and return. Next we have keyword only parameters. After star we have title. Okay, str, you can see we are having a star here, comma, Where goes boolean first default value fmt str default value. So the where star focus everything after it is to be keyword only, right? So what is that keyword only? We have this one title. Okay, if I pass here. So what we are getting here? Report P4 cells purpose true and this one okay false, right? And if I pass this one true, what we are getting? Create report takes then positional argument, but two are given, right? We are passing this one, but after that star we are passing value like verbose false and the fmt str pdf, right? So if I use this one fmt, I have to check this one. So we are passing verbose true. Here you can see report Q cells, right? This one true and format. Format is we what is that? This is PDF, right? Because we are not passing, so it will take default. And if I use this one and format, so if I pass this one, so it will use that format. If I remove this one, right? So still it is working. And if we don't remove, still it will work. Because this is you have to pass or not. But you cannot pass like this direct value here. Okay, so this is what it means. Next we have this one double star keyword arguments. Okay, variable keyword. So here we have create users name and double star. Above we showed this one is a single star and this is double listing. So what it will do? Collect extra keyword arguments input. So here we are passing user name, user dot update key arguments. Okay, and return user. Total what we are doing? Create user. This function we are calling, we are giving name. After that what we are doing? Role, admin and email and active. Okay, here how we are passing here? Keyword, right? And here how we are passing without keyword. So if I have this one, okay, yeah, if I do test goes to portability work, where total got an unexpected keyword argument, right? So we single star for this one, so it will take direct value. But here we want to pass as a keyword, like we are using keyword arguments, right? So this one, so then we need to use double star. So here the function name, and this is key argument, and this is dictionary, right? Return type. The user we are using name. After that, user update key argument. So what is the key argument that we are passing? That will be added to the user. If I run this one, so you can see name. We added only one name, that argument. After that, we can edit any number of key arguments. We are sending role, we are sending email, we are sending active, right? And if this we can change or we can remove this one. Next, we have distinct x float, y float, and we have this operator, right? Positional only parameter, the float. Everything before slash cannot be called by keyword. So we are passing x3 y4, so this will be error. What it is saying? Before this we cannot called by keyword. Keyword is this, like we are passing name and value. Last this is the combination in, for all these things. So we have mega function. Position only we are using slash, normal, and what it is saying, argument keyword only, and after that keywords only, this one. Okay, so what it will do, it will print these things. So what position only? Before that we can pass direct value here, we cannot pass as a, this what is keyword value like this. Okay, and normal, and we are this argument, this is the number of arguments we can pass here, right? And this was keyword only, so here we can pass keyword only. Here is the definition for all the default parameter provides a fallback when the argument is omitted. One critical rule: default must come after non-default in the signature, and never use mutable object like list or dictionary as a default. So for that also we'll see example why we don't use this one. Okay, Python creates its once and reuse the same object across all calls. Okay, use none as the default value to create object. Arguments. So this is the single asterisk packet to extra positional argument into tuple. You can pass 0, 3 or 50 that we already saw. Arguments. Keyword, only parameters the where asterisk in the middle of signature. Forces everything after this to be called with keyword, not positional shortcut. Double start keywords arguments. The double asterisk tags any extra keyword arguments into dictionary. Positional only parameter introduced in Python 3.8. So the forward slash means these parameters cannot be called by keyword. Okay. So what it is means, the point that is I'm saying here, never use mutable, never use mutable object like list or dictionary as a default value. Okay. So we have never do def add item list. So what we are doing, we are default list we are assigning here, right? And Python creates the list once and add the same list it's shared across every call. So the correct pattern will be function keyword def, function name, list, and we have to assign none. So lst equals to lst or lst empty list. So this is one of the Python's most famous project, and senior engineers always know. So what how it will work, right? So I will show you by this example. So we have def append. So we added item and we added result. Result we added default list here. And what we are doing, result dot append item and return details. So what I am doing here, appending 1, 2, and 3. So generally what it will do, it should return only one result, right? Because every time we call function, it will return new value only, right? Old value will not be there. But in this case, what it will do, it will add all the value in the same that we already added, right? Like if I do append bed 4, what it will do, it will return all other values 1, 2, 3 also I will get, right? But it should be generally be giving me the new list with the 4 like this. If I have append here, I am using none. I am giving if result is none, result equals assign empty list, and result dot append item and return result. Okay. So here, if I am passing append 1 and append 2, and every time if I append anything, and 5, so it will return 5 in the list, right? So what is that? Here we are not passing anything. This is the default. So you can pass your list also, that will take that one on as a argument. So it will add all the item in that one. Okay. So that's why we don't use the default value for list dictionary in the function. So what is the return value and type? And return value are how a function communicates its result. So that we already seeing like how the function is returning values. Python has several return patterns that level up your code quality. So how it will return? So first find first item, list, and condition. Okay, optional any. So we are taking item in items, we are checking condition, what condition, and it will return item, existing loop and function immediately. And this is explicitly in the function compute. Okay. Next we have order distinct. If not ordered, return if not ordered, order dot get. Okay. Total 0 and this one. So how it is returning? It is returning as a dictionary here. Here it is returning none value, right? This is the return type here, dictionary. So it is return, we are returning the success to order ID get generated. This is the dictionary. Net returning multiple values. How we can return multiple values here? Like this. We have this get mini and met function, a number of list float, and it will return tuple, float, and float. So we just have to return type. It will return a tuple, but what value it will return? First minimum value and next maximum value. Okay. So this is the value we are calling. This, if you want to see, you can just copy and run here. Okay. So it will get the value in this one, low and high. Okay. If I run this one, it will return tuple. You can see this is tuple 1 and 7. Return type int none when function has no meaningful output. Okay. So we are not returning anything from this function. We just logging the event. Log event. Okay. Next we have union return type. Can return different type each separately. So we have union and or none. What it will do? We are passing value and we are adding try. So it can return int value or it can return none. So when we have any error, it will return none. So this is the definition. You can go through that. Python most elegant return features in the multiple return values. When you write many numbers and max numbers, Python package those value and tuple automatically on the receiving side. Okay. So guard close type int and return values. Forgetting the function with return statement or their return gives back none. If you store a function result in variable and gets none unaffected, this is almost always false. So what it is saying? Forgetting that a function with no return statement. If you are not add any return statement, so by default it will return none anyway. So scopes and LEGV and closures in the Python. So scope in Python follow the specific lookup rules. First, LEGV. What is that? Local, enclosing, global, and built-in. Okay. So what is this? This is the example. So first we have text variable. Okay. This is global variable. Next we have function. This is outer function. And this is enclosing function, inner function, enclosing visible to nested inner function. Discount here we are using 0.1. So what we are doing here, we are defining local variable 0.05. So this will only exist inside the inner function. Okay. Print text rate we are defining globally. So what it will do, first it will check inside inner function, like it is having global text rate or not. So first it will check the inner function have text rate or not text rate. Next we are printing discount. What it will do, it will check inner function, it is not there, then it will go to the outer function, it is there, it will print the discount. Okay. And for similarly it will did for the text rate, it will check in inner function, it is not there, it will go outer, it will go out. Right. Next we have markup. So markup is the inside inner function, it will print markup. Next we have then is the built-in. So it will check inside inner not present, inside outer not present, inside global not present. So this will be inside built-in. Okay. So we call this one print markup. Here we are calling this print markup. This is the inner function, right? And this is we are calling inside outer function. What we are trying to do here, we are printing markup variable inside the outer function here. But inside the outer function, we don't have markup. It will only look inside the outer function or outside the outer function for the global variable. But it cannot look inside the inner function that is present in the outer function. Okay, it will throw name error. Markup only exists in inner function because we cannot access from the child block. We can go to the outer block. So outer. Here we have global variable count. We are increasing def increment. Okay. We are using declare intent to modify the global. So global counter increase print. Okay. So we will see the exam how it will run. So here it is printing 0.081 and built-in function len. This is you can see here we are printing this one inside inner function. After that 1. Here we are printing this one print counter. The counter we are printing this is 1, right? Now this one will increment, right? So what it will throw? So name markup is not defined because it will not looking this markup inside outer function or outside the outer function. Instead of markup, if I use here tag rate, right? So you can see it is working. It is printing text rate. Next, you can see we are using global counter here. Counter plus 1, so it will form 0, it will 1. If we count any number of time this increment, so it will change the counter this value only. Counter we cannot use inside the increment. Like if I use counter here, right? So I do here counter again and run this one. So what we are getting counting value 2, and if I add one more time, I will get 3. But what about if I remove this global counter? We are getting cannot access local variable counter, it is not associated with value. We are not adding anything, we are getting error. So what I have to do? I have to assign 0, right? And if I run this one, what I am getting 0, but still I am calling this increment 2 times. How many times? 2 times. So each time if I call this function, it will go inside this function, but every time it will initialize to 0. Okay. So that's why we are for counter we use the global variable. Non-local variable, this is the same. Make counter count, we have 0, we are using increment inside this one only. Okay. So this is the same thing when Python looks up name, it starts in the exact order. First it will check in the local scope, next enclosing, then global, and then built-in. Okay. So the global keyword lets you modify global variable from inside function. So that's why we are using global counter. So closures, this is where Python function becomes generally powerful. How we are using function make start. So this will be default value 0. We are having count equal to start. Next, inside start, we are having two functions called increment and decrement. Non-local count and count plus equals to 1 and count plus minus equals to 1 count. Okay. So what it is doing, def value, and it is returning value when we are get the value. So what it will returning? It is returning three functions: increment, decrement, and value. These three functions return three functions. So what we are doing here, we are making counter with the value 10. Default value is 0. We simply make counter. It will start from 0, but we want to start from 11, so we are giving 10. So what I will do, increment, decrement, and value. So increment, it will make 11, 12, and again it will decrement, it will 11, and it will print the value 11. So what we are doing, you can see this is the function that we are returning. So after executing this function make counter, still we have access of the count, right? Same real world memoization by closure. So we have memoize function. So how we are doing, we are creating cache function and we are wrapper. So it will take arguments and we are storing those. So wrapper, so it will return this. So what it is doing, Fibonacci series function we are using int n, okay, n less than equals to 1, return 1, otherwise what it will do, it will call itself n minus 1 plus Fibonacci n minus 2, return that. Same next function we have, so this is the explanation. A closure is a function that remembers variable from its enclosing scope. Enclosing scope means this one only. This is we have function, inner function. What is the enclosing space for this function? Enclosing space for this inner function is this. Anything in the defined in the make counter will become the enclosing space for this one. Okay, so it can access value from here and this one, but we are returning this function as a, so we have keeping this increment as a inside this variable. Still this function execution is completed, still we have access of the count. This is what it means enclosing. Okay, enclosing function has been executing. So the inner function increment, decrement and value all share the same count variable. It's private state and nobody outside can touch count directly. So now this function execution is already done. Okay, so we cannot have anything that will update this count function. Only the provided function with the make counter, these can be used through updated and accessed through these functions. What is the first class function and lambda functions here? This is the chapter 6 that like lambda function we are doing, right? Here we have def greeting name return. Okay, so here single line, they are real objects. What is that? It is taking name and passing and it is returning. So what? Greet underscore name and greet dot underscore doc, so doc string. And if we type greets, it will be class function. Okay, of operations add, sub, multiply. So what we are having operations add. Okay, this 3 and 4 store in the data structure. Here we are store. So what we are calling this add and 3 and 4. So what is that? Here operations, right? So this we will understand by executing. So if I run this one, we are getting 7. So how we are getting 7? This is the, what is this? Operations. Operation is dictionary, right? What it is doing? It is having key. What key it is having? It is having add, it is having subtract and multiply. This is a lambda function. When we are calling adding operations dot add, what it will return? It will return lambda function. What it is taking? A and B, two arguments. So it is passing 3 and 4. What it is doing? A plus B. So it will do A 3 plus 4. It will return 7. Same thing, if instead of add, what I will do here? I will copy this one. I will use multiply, okay? And if I rest, it will multiply these things. So this is how we can store lambda function in the dictionary, okay? And what is that? Passed as an argument higher order function. What is doing? Def apply to all item, it is taking list. And what is that? Transform and list. The transform is the function, right? So apply to all, what we are passing here? List 1 to 3. For transform, what we have to transform? We are passing lambda function that will square the given item. So how it is calling? It is passing lambda function. So lambda function will be stored in the transform, right? And transfer we are using here. So what it is doing? Item for item in item. This we already saw. So what it will do? It will take item and it will perform the operation that is given here. The condition or any operation. Here we are passing functions. So it will do transform dot items. So it will do take first and it will square that again 2 and 3. So it will square both. So it will get 149. Multiply factors. What it will do? Return lambda n into n factors, right? So we are doing multiply 2 and 3. So factor we are giving n value. So what it will give? So it will, this is creating function only, returning function multiplier. We are creating function that will multiply by 2. Here we are creating function that will multiply by 3, right? So it will return double, it will return 3. So if I call double, it will return 10. and it will return purple. Similarly, we have other tools also like list, lambda function, or we can, if you can see these three examples here. So Python has map, filter, and reduce, but here's the Python specific. Okay. So Python function dot partial is standard library version. Here you can see, check out this theory, and here you can complete this also. So what we are doing, test power, base, float, and exponent, and float base into exponent. So this function, what it will take two arguments, and it will perform the operation, the first power, sorry, base, and second the exponent. What is saying input partial, what it is in partial, what we are passing here, function, and we are passing exponent. Okay, so it will return square and it will return two function. The same thing, it will be like we are using lambda function above. Okay, so partial also we can use, it's just to simply take the first argument function and second the keyword, so it will pass the second here. And okay, here we are defining exponent key. So keep remember that we need to, this is keyword argument. Pure function and side effect. So the chapter separates engineers who wrote code that works from engineers who wrote code that lasts. Okay, what is the pure function? Pure and deterministic, no side effect. Pure function is just simply taking two arguments. Here two parameters a and b, and a plus 2. It's simply doing this one. Okay, format, it's just simply formatting. Okay, what is the impure or depend on external state? So we have tax rate here, and we are calculating tax rate. So price we are passing. Okay, so this is tax rate, price into tax rate. So this is check for the outer variable. Okay, result changes if tax rate changes, right? Calculate tax. So here price and rate, we are passing as a parameter here. So what it is, this is pure, it is not defined to the outer function. Similarly, it is having add items, card and item, here dot card dot append. So modify the original list, side effect. What is this? Here we are taking item, here we are taking card list. If you pass any list to this one, it's just simply modifying the same, the list, the outer list that we are using. It's not creating. But here what it is doing, star card it will take and it will return the new list. So this is, if we are making any change function that makes outside it changes, it will be impure, and it's only work inside the function and return new value equally pure. Okay, you can go through the decorator and sync and advanced pattern. Generator function is field instead of return. So these also you can go through this documentation. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, you can comment section. I will be uploading this to the GitHub. You can go through the complete documentation. You can copy using this copy button. You can run and you can debug. And okay, if you copy this one and copy the code here, this is same only pipe. It will take star argument. This is here. It will this is doc string. We are returning lambda function reduce this one. Okay. So if you have any doubt, any question related to functions in the Python, you can ask in the comment section. So I will reply. Okay. Thank you. Please like and subscribe.